We all know here in Ireland about our quality Irish produce, but what do people that live abroad think about Irish food? People that have never come to Ireland? Well, one person that knows all about that is travel writer and columnist Magan.
When people think of Ireland, they think of greenness. You know, they think of this constantly raining and absolute lush greenness, and they think of cows, sheep, and so it's a natural. It's a natural jump for them to think of dairy produce and of meat produce, and we take it for granted here, you know, that we live in this island because we've been brought up in it. But when you ask anyone abroad, they're either remembering. In France, they're remembering great salmon, you know, great smoked salmon. They would have got great wild salmon. They would have got, tragically, not so much now, and just wonderful lamb dishes, meat dishes. And I don't know, for some reason we don't have that perspective. When we're on the island, we don't see. When people are abroad, they are just lusting after this area as sort of a lush paradise. In one way, a sort of a Garden of Eden for producing the best dairy products and the best meat.
Do you think the government and those marketing the food industry, are they doing enough?
It's all a sense of perspective, you know. So the government rely on the people. We need to be sparking. We need first to have a passion about what we're producing ourselves. It isn't an age where we can be quipped by a government anymore. So somehow organisations like Good Food Ireland are playing with this game of inspiring people to really realise the wealth of what we have abroad and how excited foreigners would be if they were presented more of it, if they were told, if they were able to sample just how rich Irish cheddar is or Irish butter is. But for some reason, because there was this disconnect, because Irish people were always only focused on sort of surviving culture, we didn't have that international perspective. It's early days, and slowly the food producers, the restaurants and the government are coming together, particularly under Fáilte Ireland. Like the Irish Tourist Board have done, just in the last 4 years, have probably done more to reawaken our own attitude to ourselves as a food nation, but also the international world, than we've ever done.
What is your own awareness of food that's produced here at home in Ireland? And is it an issue that you would raise with your local restaurant or your hotelier?
I get so frustrated because we know Irish food could be so fantastic, and the branding, it could be known as an international brand, but we don't push it. We always go for the easy option. We'll go for imported chicken, we'll go for vegetables from some other country. You know, I mean, the amount of fields in this country that are lying idle, that could all be producing Irish carrots, Irish onions, courgettes for at least, you know, at least 4 or 5 months of the year, tomatoes, but we're not doing it. Why? Because Irish producers won't buy it.
I find that amazing, and that comes down all the time. You talk to your local butcher and he'll say they'll still buy their meat in Tesco.
For 2 years, or 3 years almost, I was an organic farmer. I worked on an organic farm in Wicklow, and then I got to set up my own organic farm in Westmeath. I bought land, and I covered most of it in polytunnels, and I was going to plant, and then I suddenly realised I went and did the local research, and that was what I found. No, they'll still go to Tesco's. They still like their clean washed produce, you know, in a neatly packaged tray. So there's a long journey for us. We know why that is because we were people cut off from our own culture. You have to go back to the famine. It's horrible that when we're talking about a modern issue, you have to go back 150 years. But the only way we'll understand our disconnect from our own terroir, our own local food, is going back that far. And so it's a slow thing, it's a slow process of reawakening ourselves to the purity and the integrity of our food.
The market is totally driven by the consumer, and they will say, I can't afford to pay the premium price for something that is organic or that premium product. What do you say when you hear that?
Personally, I'm outraged by the extra expensive organic food. Like I worked on an organic farm for 3 years. I was about to set up my own organic farm. The organic farm next door to me in Westmeath, everything he sells is cheaper than in a supermarket. Everything. There's no need for there to be an extra price for organic. It suits some different companies, and they're making a lot of money, and they're selling to exclusive markets, and that should be there. There should be an elite food market for elite, you know, boutique shops. But there is no reason why good fresh vegetables, maybe not with an official organic cert. You don't need to everything cert. It's about good food from a local farmyard.
Good Food Ireland is about networking and bringing people together to sell food and produce as an international brand. I presume their whole ethos and their whole image is very, very important to get people to get together. How important do you think their work is?
you know, whenever I go abroad, I can't immerse myself in someone's family. You just can't arrive in a distant country and, you know, be sitting down at their table. But so to get a direct feel of a country, you read books to get a sense of it, but that's a vague sense. It's ultimately through the senses. It's what you're drinking, what you're eating. So it is to get that primary deep connection with a country. It's vital to do it through food. That's how I do it to any country in the world. People coming to Ireland, they couldn't have got that. They're steered into Temple Bar and they're steered into particular hotels in Killarney and in Connemara. And you know, there is a disconnect from the local produce. So Good Food Ireland was the first opportunity that could educate us in Ireland about the value of our own food, but more importantly, tourists who come here, the international flocks who come into Ireland every year, hungry for a taste, an experience, a genuine experience of Ireland, and in the past it wasn't available. Good Food Ireland are taking the first steps over the last 4 years towards focusing our direction on that.